What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with my week 9 buy lows. Gonna throw in a few sell highs here at the end as well. But if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. If you need trade advice, start set advice, whatever you need, any fantasy football advice you put down there, I will respond to every single comment. So I got you guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to bring home that championship. I post waiver wire videos, buy low, sell highs, weekly rankings every single week. And like I said, all those comments get answered. So a great fantasy resource, and it'll help you bring home that fantasy championship this year. Embarrass your friends and family. That's what it's all about. But let's talk about our first buy low. It's at the quarterback position, Dak Prescott. I think brighter days are ahead for Dak. Wasn't a great game for him against San Francisco, but he's got a great schedule the rest of the season. They are going to have to throw the ball a lot. Defense isn't nearly as good. Running game is not nearly as good as it was, a few years ago. So they're going to have to pass the ball a lot moving forward. I think Dak is a guy you can go out and acquire if you've been struggling at quarterback for a very reasonable price right now. Number 2 on our buy low list, it's Amari Cooper, coming off a very quiet week, but that doesn't worry me too much. I think it is just him getting acclimated to the team a little bit at the same time. And like I said, I think he is going to be the number 1 target on this team with Josh Allen, who's an absolute stud. And I think he's going to be a guy you can go out and acquire for pretty low. I think you can acquire him for, wide receiver 2 pricing in most leagues at, wide receiver 16 to 24, somewhere in that range. And then I think he's got top 15 upside rest of season. Moving on to another guy who's been on this series a lot these last few weeks, I still believe, Jayden Reed. He's a wide receiver 8 right now, but these last few weeks it hasn't been quite what you're looking for. And the bye is coming up in week 10. So if it's one of your guys in your league has had him and you're probably a little bit frustrated with him, they see that bye coming up, you might be able to go in and snag him this week. I think Jordan Love is going to play. And if that happens, he's in for a great game against Detroit where they will have to give him the ball a lot in order to stay in this game. I think if you're, a winning team, you're not worried about that week 10 bye. Absolutely a guy I would go out and acquire that I think is going to be good rest of season and gives you monster blow up games as well. Another guy I want to throw out there, Chris Olave. I think he is a great buy low. Rashid Shaheed out for the season. Derek Carr likely back this week. If you look at a lot of these weeks, 10.8, 17.6, 12.7, 14.7, and these 2 tough weeks in there, dealt with some injuries, a concussion, some really bad quarterback play. But Derek Carr is coming back, and like I said, he's going to have even less target competition than he did before with Rashid Shaheed out. I expect him to get close to double-digit targets every week moving forward, and him to be a really solid wide receiver 2 for your team that people are probably pretty frustrated with who own him currently. Throwing out a running back there real quick, and I would say Tank Bigsby right now. I really believed in him a lot. I think I might sell just because if I could flip him and get into Etienne, I would really consider it. Mainly because I think the work that Etienne's going to get in the receiving game when he gets back, I do think he's a good player. I just think he's struggled with injuries so far this year. If he comes back and is healthy, ready to go, I think he's going to get a lot of the work in the passing game as well, and be a guy that you can go and acquire for very, very cheap right now. Etienne, you could offer, I think people would consider Najee Harris greatly overpaying. So I think you could offer even lower than that and be able to go out there and secure Etienne, a guy who has a lot of potential rest of season. We've seen him be very, very good for fantasy football in the past, being an explosive playmaker. Not like how he's played this year thus far, obviously. But like I said, I think that is due to the nagging injuries that hopefully he's overcome now. Next guy up, Malik Nabers. I own him in a lot of leagues, but I think he's a buy low right now because he's coming off 2 somewhat mediocre games, but 13 targets in this last game. Had a touchdown, just called back, had a big drop as well. Obviously, the drop passes aren't him, but I just think with this type of target volume, he is going to be very good this season, and I still believe, and you might be able to go out there and acquire him for, a top 15 wide receiver range potentially in some leagues, and I think he's locked and loaded top 12 wide receiver rest of season, probably top 8. Another name I want to throw out there coming off the injury, obviously check his stats to see if he's playing, but if he doesn't play, it might help you a little bit. But look at these targets, 10, 14, 7, 8, these last few weeks. He was getting excellent target volume in this offense. Great quarterback there, obviously, in Joe Burrow. He's scoring touchdowns in a contract year. As long as T. Higgins is suiting up, I'm playing him. I think he's a top 15, top 8, even top 10 wide receiver rest of season. Another guys I want to talk about, there's a few of them. Josh Downs is one of my buy lows, as well as everybody on the Colts offense. I am buying low on Pittman. I'm buying low on Downs. I'm buying low on Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor obviously was an RB1 before this news, but now he's going to catch even more passes. His offense is going to be better overall. A lot of benefit for him. I would be buying low, like I said, all these guys. Even Jonathan Taylor, if you can go out there and acquire him for, like if I had Breece Hall, I could trade him and get Jonathan Taylor. I'd absolutely do that rest of the season just because of the increased pass volume that I expect them to receive. But I think there's, you can acquire Jonathan Taylor for a little bit less than he's worth right now because I don't think people are counting enough for the Joe Flacco bump. Like I said, just in the offense, not him only catching more passes, but just the offense being so much in general and be able to generate more scoring opportunities for Jonathan Taylor. And he is going to get those on the goal line without a rushing quarterback threat. Another name I wanted to bring up is Calvin Ridley. Reason being, with DeAndre Hopkins gone, I expect him to continue to get pretty good target volume. You see 8, 9, and then 15 this last week with Hopkins gone. Even 8 and 9, you can start a guy like that. Maybe not if it's Will Levis, which this last week where he balled, it was not Will Levis, but I think Levis will be better moving forward. And I just don't understand if Levis can't be able to hyper target Calvin Ridley moving forward this season, which is how their offense is going to have to run, and Ridley be successful with how good of a route runner and so many things that he can do well. I don't think Will Levis will start that many games for them moving forward. I just think he's got to be better just from the standpoint of how poorly he's been doing. And we've seen him start games, 15 for 19 as far as the completions to attempt ratio. We've seen him have solid starts accuracy-wise, but just need him to be able to get the ball to Calvin Ridley when he's wide open, which he was a lot in this last game. He's got a lot of good matchups rest of the season. So a guy I would be looking to acquire that you can get really low. And then we just want to throw out a sell high for me right now. It's J.K. Dobbins. Reason being, J.K. Dobbins, RB18 right now, but averaging 13.7 points per game. Pretty darn good. And we just see the yards per carry just pretty precipitously go down. And like I mentioned earlier in the season, why Dobbins has been a sell high for me for so many weeks is coming off that Achilles injury. Didn't expect him to be able to keep up great efficiency numbers over the course of a season. We've seen other guys, look really good in the first few weeks of coming off an Achilles in that first year and then really trail off. I think that's what's happening to JK. Still getting a ton of volume. You can still I'd be playing him every single week, but that's why I think you could be able to flip him for something pretty darn good. Like if I could take J.K. Dobbins and I'm trying to think of a solid wide receiver, Devonta Smith, and trade that for Jonathan Taylor and Calvin Ridley, I would absolutely do that deal. And people can get deals like that done, I believe, in their leagues right now. But that's just one example. And like I said, if you guys put any players or any trade ideas you have down in the bottom, I can give you my thoughts. Let me know if I do that deal or not. Just kind of let you know what my thoughts are. Alrighty, that's going to bring this video to a close, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate all the likes, the comments, and the subscribers. We're going to keep chugging, keep putting out good fantasy content for you guys. Love doing it and love you guys watching, so appreciate all the love. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you go out there and win this week, make it into the playoffs, and bring home that ship. Hit that subscribe button, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to win that fantasy championship for you this year. And until next time, I will see you guys.